Okay. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. So it's really what's comfortable for you, you know. Where's my mouth? It's somewhere here. So if you're sitting at your desk, you can have both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart, and your knees about a hip's width apart. Feel the sensation of your feet on the floor, the weight, the texture, the temperature. Notice the weight of your sits bones in your chair and the weight of your hands in your lap. So your hands can be in just a regular, just resting on your knees, or you can put them in a meditation mudra that you're familiar with in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. It's the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. Align your ears with your shoulders and lengthen your spine. Imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just lengthening your spine. And then you go to the crown of the head and release any tension there. So just relax your scalp, your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, nose, cheeks, the area around the mouth, and back of the tongue. Relax the jaw, the ear, the inner ear. Relax the back of the head. Also relax where your occipital bone is, at the base of the skull, and just allow your shoulders to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then just bring your attention to the sensation of your breath as you inhale and exhale. From the nostrils, the chest cavity. And as you inhale, notice your chest expanding 360 degrees, not just at the front, not just in your chest, in your whole lungs, your whole rib cage. And be aware of any sound distractions in your environment. Outside, your home, inside your home, and maybe notifications on your screen. But just allow all the distractions to be there and try not to follow them with your mind. And now we can sort of take the same approach to our thoughts. So just be aware of thoughts. Allow your thoughts to arise and to abide. And then just allow them to flow on without you engaging in the story. So just notice if you've got a kind of a story going on in your mind. If you don't follow that story, like a movie script, it's got nowhere to go if you don't give it any energy. So try not to judge what's in your mind, just allow it to be there. Just notice. And then bring to mind the people of your life. So, we have people in our life that we love very much. So bring that person to mind. Notice their smile. And then we have people in our life we don't like or we don't trust. And then there's always so many strangers in our life. So of course, if you're living in a big city, Sydney or Delhi or San Francisco or New York, many, 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 many strangers in your life. And even here in Marin, lots of traffic, lots of strangers. And then despite how you might feel about any one of those people at any one particular time, they're all really just the same as you and me in that they want to be happy and they don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we think we're doing this Vajrasattva practice in the context of the four opponent powers. So we start by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. There's nothing that we've done that's so awful that we can't actually do something about it. We can't change that we can change it. So Lamesh used to say, we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we might experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more, so logically it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of suffering. And then we think, well, what can I do about it? Where can I turn for help? So then we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we are looking for a higher power. We're not looking for forgiveness or for someone just to take it all away, all the pain away, or all the guilt away, whatever. We're trying to, with this power of regret, then we come to this, okay, so reliance on this method of Vajrasattva. So imagine Vajrasattva is like a doctor, and the methods that he has are sort of something we can use to heal ourselves. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And so you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher, your trusted mentor, your guru, whoever, however you see them in your mind, manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful, white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. and he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot, and his arms are crossed at his heart. The left hand is closest to the heart, and it's holding a bell, which represents wisdom. And the right hand is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment, infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have a little section here on developing compassion. And in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginning's time. And then think about those who've harmed you, and particularly have compassion for these ones, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So we think. Make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification, and we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. This pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Matsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, vajrasattva dinapatita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, vajrasattva dinapatita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, vajrasattva dinapatita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dinapatita, Juda meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutsa Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body, excuse me, is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time forcing up, sorry, to the top part of your body, all the negativity of your speech. So this kind of overflows quite forcefully and then also disappears into space. So imagine all your harsh speech, also kind of wrong speech, gossiping, talking about people behind their backs, being divisive, lying, inappropriate speech, like interrupting people, when they're talking, or just rabbiting on about nothing, boring people to death. So all of this instantly purified, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipukaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida mebowa, situkaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, anarakta mebowa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuruhum, ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dina mebowa, situkaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, Anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa, situkaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, anarakta mebowa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida mebowa, situkaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, Anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida mebowa, sitokaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, anarakta mebowa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida mebowa, sitokaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, Anurakta mebowa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of our mind. And now Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine, when you walk into a room and you turn on the light, it instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, all the kind of darkness in the mind, instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your own suffering and the cause of why we harm others, with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of your body, speech, and mind. So imagine Vajrasattva sends nectar, pours down and pushes out from the lower orifices all the negativity of your body. And then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of your speech. And then the light comes and just blasts all of your delusions. And this is happening all at the same time, as well as you reciting the mantra, visualizing that. And in this way, it eradicates all the subtle negative delusions in your consciousness, the subtlest imprints. Sorry, the very, very subtle imprints. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva Ahom Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita. Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita. Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita. Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita. Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita. Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's a really crucial one, this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So we just have to decide, just think, this is what I'd like to do. So once you've made that decision, everything's going to start moving forward, because nothing will happen. There's no change going to happen. There's no effort there unless you make a decision for it to happen. So, rejoice in your efforts for coming along tonight. And then think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Some little habit that you have that might be even just slightly harmful to yourself, to your mind, or to someone else. And then think that you might think about it during the day. Think about maybe how you could do it differently or not do it all. And then Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Lamsa Rinpoche used to think about he would recommend to think about meditating on this idea of emptiness. So we think, to start with, in emptiness there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So you can just place your mind in that energy field for a moment. So we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So we'll dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So here we're doing a practice called chanting the names of Manjushri. And it was recommended by Lama Zopa Rinpoche for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. Traversing in all three worlds in just one stride, his step extending past the bounds of space, with knowledge of the three well-versed and pure, with sixfold higher knowledge and recall. The Bodhisattva and Mahasattva, with power great, transcending worldly life, perfected by his excellence of insight, now unified with insight's highest nature. The whole aware of self, aware of other, for fit for all, he is the best of men, surpassing all to which he is compared, supreme most Lord of knowing and what's known. All right, everybody, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers, if you have one. All right, everyone, lots of love. Good night. Guninda, thank you for coming here from Delhi. Nice
Yes,
to have
thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you. My pleasure. Thank you, Shrey, for bringing Guninda with your friend with you. And lots of love, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow evening. Okay, thank you. Hopefully with Judith. All right, bye-bye, everybody.